Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you again. All right, cool. All right, give me a second. I'm just gonna mute out, take like a sip of drink here, and then I'll lead in. Anything you want to tell me besides like name pronunciation? You said song. I'll call you. Anything about beyond that? Like I need to know or anything.
Not. I mean, not really. I think we can just kind
Usually,
of get
usually
into the
there's not. Usually
conversation.
it's like pronunciation
Yeah,
type
and
shit.
I
So
should. Your name is Kalski, right?
Kowski, yeah, or Ian Lepkowski is my full name, but Kowski.
Man, that's a really dope name. Awesome.
Thank you. All right, cool. All right, give me a
Sure.
second, and then we'll lead
All
in.
right.
Welcome to the Talking About Life podcast. I am your host, Ian Lepkowski. My Twitter handle is at Kowski_ETH. That's at KOWSKY_ETH, as in the first three letters of Ethereum. That's on Twitter. My ENS is Kowski.eth. We always start the show, the Talking About Life podcast, by thanking God and the universe and whatever we believe is bigger than ourselves, if you so do believe, for whatever magic and energy gets these connections to happen, gets people to be open to coming on the show and sharing their lives and talking about life and talking about their stories and their passion and positivity. We also, obviously, of course, have to thank the guest. Today, we're lucky and blessed and grateful enough to have our guest, who is Sung Woo Kim. That is at Mindful Run Coach on Twitter. That's at MindfulRunCoach. His Twitter bio reads, I turn you into a mindful runner, so far plus 4K, author of two books, at 5 minute or at 5 Min Run Club, so at 5 MINRUNCLUB, at Lululemon Ambassador, ENVENGMS at Stanford, Skybrook VF, Loud Punks Creatures, and coming to us from San Francisco, California, and then also a Discord link to I'm not sure what. You could let us know in the bio. Sung, just let us know, whatever else you want to tell us about yourself to get started here. But how are you doing today, and how are you doing in general?
Hey, Kalski, thanks for having me. Yeah, just an honor to be on your show, and just really excited to talk about life and you know, however this conversation unfolds.
Hell yeah, man. Before we kick into anything crazy here, I just want to say, dude, I love your creature world. I think that's a really cool one. Like, some of them, I'm not as into as others with the color scheme or whatever. I do think creature world is cool in general. I had the chance to meet Danny Cole in person one time, and he's a really fucking cool artist and dude. But yeah, your particular creature that you have is your PFP here. Very cool, dude.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love Creature, and yeah, I had to grab one with the aura background. I think yeah, I think what Danny is doing is very interesting. How he's trying to build like a fashion brand on top of creatures, and I think that will be a good. Um, I think it will leave a good impact for NFTs as well for the long run. Nothing really short term though, but yeah, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, man. And one quick thing about Danny, like when I met him, what really impressed me, I'm an artist too, and different artists have different processes, but when he talked about his process, he was going through what he does as we were looking at a painting and he was saying this is what I did for this one, this is what I did for that one. The way he described it was this meditative kind of zen moment, this kind of flow state he gets into, and he kind of feels these like emotions and vibes, and then he's like flowing with it and expressing it on the canvas, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking dope. Like it's not just he's like, oh, I just see it in my head and I just get it up there, like kind of thing. Like I don't know, most artists have a little more to their process than that, but some people do describe it like that. They're like, I don't know, I see it in my head and then I draw it the way I saw it in my head. Like, it's like, that's cool, but that doesn't sound as like cool to me as like getting into the flow state. So I love that he talked about it that way. So that's his passion. And like I said, the show's about passion and positivity. I like anything. I like passion in general, even if it's not something, I'm an artist, so that one links for me. But even if it's not something I personally do, I just like to get fired up, man. Like, I don't love sports, but I'll go to a sporting event with people who are fired up about it, and I'll fucking scream and root and cheer. Like, I don't even though I don't have a history with the team, just because I like fucking cheering and having a good time. I see that you are passionate here about running. You're Mindful Run Coach. That's your Twitter handle. So obviously that encapsulates you in a large way. And it's also the first part of your bio. Do you want to, tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. And then I think what you just said about Danny's like how he gets into flow state and gets into that kind of tranquil, peaceful yet very concentrated and focused state for his art. I think that's very relevant to how I approach running as well. Let me think how I want to start explaining to you and the audience my journey as a runner and a running coach. Where should I start? Should I just start from the beginning? You think?
The beginning's a great place to start. It's always a good place to start.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I wasn't a passionate runner before I turned into passionate runner. If that makes sense. But I was more of a soccer player. Like I guess I always ran with the ball in front of me or ran towards the ball and scored a goal, etc. Played soccer until when I was like 23. Played in college and so forth, high school and college, and then but after college, I couldn't play much more or couldn't play as much as I used to because after college, like there's no team. I joined some intramural leagues, like local soccer leagues, but it's like not the same, not the same level, and like not the same commitment from others. And so I was looking for, I guess, unconsciously. I wasn't consciously looking for something else, but unconsciously, I was looking for something else. And then I started reading this book called Born to Run, just kind of accidentally and randomly. That in that book, it talked about like joy of running and how we are kind of born to run. How running has helped us evolve into a more intelligent, scientific thinking and more compassionate and more, I guess, strong and resilient species. And after reading that book, I was like quite inspired, and then I just started running. Really, just started running like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. At the time, I was living in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, tutoring some kids, and then at the place that where I was staying at, they had a huge backyard with just grass backyard, probably like 400 to 600 yards width, and then I just ran around that grass yard.
Sung, if I could
Yeah.
ask you, what is it in the book like that really inspired you? Like, was it you read the whole book and when you got to the end of it, it was like it just kind of sunk in? Was it like in the middle of the book, like you kind of like, oh, something hooked you? Like what was it that got you from like, okay, I'm a soccer player, running's part of soccer, it's part of like endurance training and all that, to like, no, running, I'm born to like. How did the book sell you on the idea that we're born to run?
That's a great question. It's hard to say if there was any particular moment that inspired me. I think reading the book, it just kind of made me realize it really made sense to go for a run and enjoy that. Um, there were like stories of like different tribes that ran like 50 miles, 30 miles, 80 miles just for fun as a community. And like, it's like their weekend activity. Like, they go out like they're called Tarahumara. They live in this like mountain, like more like a stone mountain valley near U.S. and Mexico border. I forgot where exactly. But what they do is like in the book, like they like party hard on Friday night, and the next morning, all of them, like from their children to the old elder people, they go for a run, like 30-mile run. And that's like their way of like celebrating the weekend after the party. And I don't know, man, just something just clicked in me, and it wasn't like okay, I'm born to run, like I'm gonna go for a run. It was more like interesting. These people just run for fun, and running has been a tremendously important part of our species evolution. I sh- re- and I just was intrigued enough to try running without any conceived notion of running being like a endurance training for soccer, like you said, or kind of for fitness or health. I really just want to experience running as something new, something that I just want to get to know more. And so that's kind of how it all started, really.
And did you enjoy it right away? So like, obviously the book inspired you. It connected the idea of running to our primal and ancestral roots, the idea of the tribe and our first, starting human ancestors kind of thing, and it being like an integral part of like the hunt and staying physically fit and just like it just conveyed it in such a way where it made sense, like you said, where it's like, yes, this is maybe a missing part of my humanity. Like everybody knows we need to exercise, but maybe running itself and feeling free and striding across the lands and moving quickly and having, maybe open space to run in the field. Like, a lot of times running on treadmill, I don't know where you run, like, a lot of it looks like some of your pictures, like it's outside and stuff. So it's like, you're out in the world, you're breathing the air, that kind of thing. I get it. I myself, I don't always run, but I had a thing where I was doing like a year and a half. I did at least a 5 miles, not in one sitting, but it like on my Apple Watch, I would track it. Every day I would move at least 5 miles, like whether it was just regular walking or not. So usually I'd have like a mile or two from like just the day or something, just moving. And then I would have to walk like, or not have to, but I would enjoy taking a 3 mile walk, before I went to sleep or something to hit the five, and then, whatever for the rest of the night. So I get that. When I started though, it was like, I don't know, like I had to start slow, and then I kind of like stopped, and then I started and stopped a little bit, and then I got into my flow. For you, did you start immediately and get into your flow, or did you have any obstacles, like personally?
Um, but first of all, yeah, I completely agree with you. Like there's so much joy and freedom when you run outside. Like you said, I do run mostly outside, and then yeah, first time I was hooked with that really sense of freedom and sense of joy, and then like speed and whatnot. It is. I mean, in the beginning, I just ran for fun. Like I just enjoyed running. I just enjoyed being outside, and it was really a kind of a very. It really helped me to you know like rediscover like myself as well after college. Like at the last year of my college, I was kind of going through a little depression of like where I was not happy with where I was because I always studied hard and took a safer path other than following my passion where more risk was there, but something I was passionate about. Like I was interested in art and history and philosophy when I was young, but I never really had courage to pursue art and philosophy because I thought I cannot really make any living out of it. But then, like last year of college, I realized that I never really lived up to my passion, and that kind of got me into depression. But then, yeah, running really helped me to kind of sort those things out and like get me into more of kind of rational and more thorough thinking. Like it helped me to realize that I had to study hard and kind of fulfill my parents' desires as well in a way because I was born in Korea and then I came to USA, and then one really big thing was for me to get into a really good school and whatnot. So I realized running kind of helped me to kind of figure those things out as well. But yeah, back to your question, it was about like how to start running if I struggled with it in the beginning, like about the speed. Is it right?
Yeah, like if it was like a struggle to stay committed to it, like the discipline, or if it felt just right and it just felt natural to stay with it kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it felt just natural, and I had no problem sticking to it. Like, actually, the problem was I was doing too much. So in the beginning, I was doing it really purely for the joy and fun and freedom of it, and then, but then, like after 3 to 6 months, I really fell in love with it, and I was like, man, I really want to do this for the rest of my life. And at the time, I thought if I want to do running for the rest of my life, I thought I had to become a professional runner. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's kind of another story, but yeah, that's how I got more into running, and that's how I went to Kenya because I thought if I want to become a professional runner when I'm 23, which I'm super late, I should really go and learn from some of the best runners in the world. But yeah, I had no problem sticking to it. I actually fell really, really deep into it. So yeah.
Now, do you get any of that runner's high people are always talking about? Like, when they really get into it, you get into that flow state we were talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But
How would
I
you describe that? Like to someone who's not a runner and you're trying to sell them on like, no, dude, there really is like this high you get. Like, what's it like?
Yeah, it is a very interesting feeling and experience. And what's funny about it is that when you want to or try to get into the flow state, and when you try to structure a run, or when you have that intention when you go out for a run and say, "Oh, I want to get into flow state, I want to get that high," it never happens. It's very, very interesting. Like the more you let it be and kind of, um, the more you not have control, try to not have control of your running, the more it happens. And then when it happens, it feels like, I don't think it's euphoric or like happy or like exciting. It's more like you feel completely in tune with your body and the world around you. You feel completely one with the running movement itself and also one with the world around you. There's no dissonance, there's no thoughts running through your mind, there's no, I guess there's no division between you and the world around you, and you feel like you're at the right place at the right time for your life. You feel like everything in life makes sense for you because it is kind of beyond very logical and um, it's kind of beyond language. You cannot really grasp what it's like in words, but I think the best way to say is like you really feel like one with yourself and the world, and it feels very calming. You feel very strong. You feel very peaceful, and yeah, you just feel like like the most you can be, the most you can be.
Yeah, I love the way you're describing it. And like I said, I don't have as much experience with running as you, and I've done a lot of walking, but there is a time where like I was doing a bit more running and then did get into this state. And I think everything you just said I can relate to. And you're right. Like if you've never done it, it is hard to kind of describe or encapsulate in words. So like you kind of do have to do it. But one more thing I would add that just goes with what everything you're saying is like your body just gets into this like rhythm where you don't like fucking feel it anymore or something. There's like a weightlessness. Like it starts off with you running and then the running is like happening and you're there like witnessing yourself running. But you're like not
Oh,
doing it. It's like doing itself. Like you're doing it. I don't know, bro. It's like when you're you know how your breathing is subconscious? You know how you don't think about
a
breathing?
100%. Yeah,
Running becomes like that. Like how is your body moving? So, like it's like, and then you don't even feel it, like the breathing or something. Like that's part of it for me. And from your description, like that's got to be part of like that. Like that's where it is. Like that's what the peace comes from. It's like that freeness, that weightlessness, that kind of detachment. Your mind is just like, like I'm released. I'm out of here. Something like that.
no, 100%. I think I completely agree with you, and so that's what I. So I sometimes describe that running high, that experience where, like you said, running happens, and you're just kind of there, and you're just observing it, and you're just kind of experiencing running that's happening through your body. And sometimes I use this word reveal. Like I feel like running is revealing through you, and you're just a medium where through which running reveals itself into the world, and you're kind of just there, witnessing and just experiencing that happening, which is wild and magical. Um,
Yeah, man. Like you're the channel, and running is the wave passing through you. I love it.
oh yeah, hell yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. And then, but what's fun is that when you realize that is happening, and when you want to keep that going for longer time, or when your consciousness or your thoughts get into it, then that running high, that flow just stops. So that's just one thing I really noticed. So whenever that happens, I try to not intervene with it. Um, but it's kind of also very spiritual experience for me, or even I might dare to say like kind of religious experience, because like it's a it's very, I think very similar to ego death, where you know you're just not there, but you're there, but you're not there, and yeah. So I think it is pretty deep, man. I just yeah, I should just stop talking because I can just go on and on. But yeah, it is
No, no.
very one
And
of the
just to
things I
relate
love about running.
just to relate to what you're saying, I've also experimented with like meditation and yoga and those endeavors, and it's the same thing. Like talking about the flow state with the running, like there's like a joke or something in meditation where it's like the second you have the thought like I feel enlightened, you're not like you maybe were just before that, like before you spoke, before you identified with the I self, but like really the goal of it is like you forget there's an I. Same thing, like you forget your body's there, like the running becomes subconscious. So it's like if you get there and get like aware that you're there, the second you're aware of it, you're out of it. It's like a funny contradiction. But yeah, so that we could move on. Like you said, we've definitely kind of nailed it on that. But I think it's cool to talk about just so people know what the fuck they're missing and maybe they could get into it and not miss it going forward. Speaking of that, though, you're a mindful run coach. Like you're doing it professionally and you're coaching other people. So like, what exactly was the journey, and then like what is your experience as a coach?
Yeah, sure. So when I went to Kenya, my intention was to learn from them and build something that I can use to become a professional runner, so I can run for the rest of my life. But then when I went to Kenya, I quickly realized there's no way I can become a professional runner and compete with them. I There was no way. They were born in altitude and they've been running, walking 3 to 6 or even more than 7 miles every day since they could walk and run. Their heart and lungs were just completely different, and there was no way I could compete with them. So after Kenya, I had to rethink about my relationship with running, and I realized I still want to keep running for the rest of my life because I just loved it. And but then, other than being a professional runner, I realized I could help other people enjoy running and get better with running, and also use running as a skill and tool to improve their fitness, mental, and physical health. So that's how I got into coaching. I started opening this, in person, offline running workshops, like barefoot running classes, meditative running classes, which I later called mindful running. And I slowly just kind of build upon that. Like, I chart, I put it on Airbnb, I put it on my Instagram. I started my Instagram as well and started writing about running, how I think about running. And I also like started writing some books on running and got published 2 books. And yeah, it all started very small, but then um, yeah, it all started with my passion for running and just wanted to really share that joy with other people. And so far, I mean, mainly it's been in Korea because I just moved to San Francisco like a year and a half ago after getting married to my wife who lives in the city. And but in Korea, yeah, I used to do classes every weekend, online Zoom calls, workshops. I have a little YouTube channel as well, and yeah, it's been wild. I think I've met at least 1,000 people in person and shared, coached them in person, and I think at least like 3,000 people bought my books. So that's why on my profile I said like 4,000 people I worked with, and yeah, it's been wild.
And your book, is that like on Amazon, Audible? Is there like an ebook? Like, what's the deal with that?
So right now it's only available in Korean, but once I get like permission to work in the States, we are in the process of getting our green cards. I will I plan to translate it and then make it available on Amazon, and also like integrate NFTs with it also as well. Yeah.
I wonder if you could throw that motherfucker into Chat GPT and have it just put it into English for you. I have no idea. I mean, it'd probably be too long. Maybe on the pro version, I'm not sure, but or I mean, you could just obviously do it yourself. But I'm just saying, like, it's a cool. Have you been using Chat GPT by the way? I think it's a
For
very cool
sure.
new tool.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, no, ChatGPT is definitely in my mind when it comes to translating my book. And yeah, I don't know if you, like you say, I don't know if you can translate the whole thing at once, but it's,
Even if you
like,
had to do it in sections, it's probably
yeah, yeah, in
easier still
sections.
than
Yeah.
doing it yourself. Like, and you may have to proofread it, but it's got to be easier than doing it word by word yourself.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then I think you can also train it. I can, um, So I can translate like one section, and then I can give it to ChatGPT, and then I can ask it to, hey, translate this other section in the style of this writing, which I just gave it to you, and then it actually does that for you, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I've been using ChatGPT for my work as well, because for my coaching stuff, I need to um, do some like I need to make schedules, like personalized schedule. I need to make some certificates whenever people complete their courses, and I automated those with some Python programming, and using ChatGPT has been very helpful. I mean, I coded before that, like some Python for my business, but then when ChatGPT came out, it has been much easier. It really feels like I have a personal programmer or secretary programmer that I can just ask questions and kind of do build basic structure for me.
ChatGPT is my best fucking friend. It's up all hours of the night. It has an answer to every question I have. It's always there for me. It's a good fucking guy or girl or omniscient presence or
Dude,
whatever,
it's wild, and it
whatever
doesn't
it is.
complain. It doesn't have to go home. It's always working for you, and yeah, it's wild. I think so much we'll be able to do so much with it for sure.
And what are your thoughts? You said you want to maybe do something incorporating your book as an NFT. What are you picturing?
So actually, I want wanted to, and I still want to, and I think I will want to start a membership based community for runners or people who want to get into running and get better with running for their health. Um, book NFTs will be kind of part of that as well. I'm not sure how I'm gonna structure it. I could, start my membership NFTs first, and then give my book NFTs as a, kind of a token of, great gratitude and appreciation. Kind of that first, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to do with NFTs, and I'm just kind of taking slowly. My original intention was to launch a collection last year, like early last year, when it was really, really, everything was going up and people were crazy. A lot of people were getting into it. But then at that point, I decided not to, because it wasn't a community of people that I wanted to work with, if that makes sense. When I opened my Discord, like I had a call with Gary Vee, like FaceTime call with him, because I bought a FaceTime token because I wanted to have a call with him and ask him for some advice for NFT, launching an NFT collection. But then in that call, he tweeted out that I'm building like a running NFT or community, and then that got me a lot of followers, and people, like about like 600 people got into my Discord. But then I quickly realized like 99% of them were just looking for quick flips. They weren't interested in any of running or any of my story. So I built most of my drawings and art and storyline and all the content that I was going to give to members, but then it just didn't feel right. So I didn't do it, and now I'm still building it, but hopefully I can launch sometime this year. Yeah, that's kind of goal.
And I'm sorry, if I missed it, but the book is going to be incorporated into that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I want to.
Like, so you buy it and that, like, and I don't know if you don't have to know the answer, but like it would just be what, a downloadable attachment, like that you would see, like I guess on the OpenSea thing, like the same thing with that comes with some of the VFriends things where there's like files with it, and then it's like a PDF, I guess. Like, is that, am I imagining this right?
Yeah, yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things, and I can also like um make a Discord gated NFT gated channel where only holders of the book NFTs have access to, and then I can just, you know um get them to sign up on a Google form, give me their address, I can send the books as well, or like make a little really simple web app where only, they can claim books on the, on the web, if they own the NFTs, and I can send them books. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's just so many ways you can do it.
Yeah, you're right. There's definitely a lot of different ways. Let me ask. So yeah, you'll do it in some way, shape, or form. I get it. And I think that's awesome. I like people incorporating, different types of things with NFTs and taking it just beyond the PFP, like putting, additional art in there, or like a video in there, or, using it for a book, using it for poetry. I had another guest that was doing poem NFTs, and I thought that was cool. Um, but I wanted to ask you, so obviously, there's all this content in the book, don't give away all the secrets. But is there any like tips you could give us, like either from the book or about running in general? Like, and then one selfish question I like to ask you, like, do you have any recommendation, like people have all these different philosophies. Like people talk about free running, you should use no shoes, you should use those toe shoes, and you should have toe socks. You should get like no, you don't need that. You can have regular shoes, but they need to be like really thin or something. Like do you know about this debate among runners and running shoes, and do you have a perspective on shoes, and then I guess any other, quick tips kind of things.
For sure, I have a lot to say about shoes and whatnot, but I think if there's anything I would love for you and other audience to get, um, take away from this is breathing. Breathing is the most important thing when you're running, and arguably, I would say one of the most important things in your life. How you breathe, and whether you're aware of how you're breathing in all different situations is really breathing is I think is the channel between you and your mind and your body that we really overlook. So when you run, I really unless you want to become like Usain Bolt, where you want to become really good at sprinting, like 100, 200, or 400 meters, unless that's your goal, and your goal is to build your stamina, your fitness, your endurance, you really want to spend more than 90% of the total time that you run at a very comfortable and low intensity, comfortable speed and comfortable pace where you can breathe very easily and comfortably, and where you can talk to people around you if you're running with other people. So, and one good way to implement that is to just breathe through your nose. Whenever you're running, always breathe through your nose. Make sure you keep your speed where you can breathe through your nose comfortably.
In out through your nose, not
In
in
and
through
out
out
both.
through the mouth, because I've heard that too.
In and out through your nose. And I can really talk a lot about why nose breathing itself is very important, and why you actually should breathe through your nose all the time, whether you're running or not. But for especially for running, it is a beautiful way to beautiful way for you to really stay aware of how fast you're going, and make sure you're not going too fast, because 100%, like 99.9%, where beginner runners and a lot of experienced, even experienced runners struggle is they go way too fast, and they are not really building the fundamental endurance base, the aerobic capacity, your body's ability to use oxygen as fuel, oxygen and fat as fuel. So, if anything, breathe your nose. Please go easy. Please don't. I hate this phrase where, no pain, no gain. That is true when you're developing your anaerobic capacity, your way to go at, really high speed. But when you're trying to build your aerobic capacity, your real endurance, your ability to run for a long time and fast, if you're feeling pain, you're not gaining anything. So please go opposite with no pain, no gain. Breathe your nose. Go easy. I trust me, you're gonna run so much faster that way. But it's gonna take time, because it building your aerobic capacity requires building very structural things within your body. You have to build like blood capillaries. You have to build more hemoglobins. You have to build more mitochondria in your blood cells, your cells and stuff. So yeah, I think that's the breathing, nose breathing. I think that's the only thing I want to say.
And then on the topic of nose breathing, is it correct that you want to breathe, yes, in and out through your nose, but also in a way where you're breathing from your belly, like pulling in from your diaphragm, not like the forces being generated like at the bridge of your nose?
Yeah, and what's interesting is that when you breathe through your nose, you're very more likely to breathe with your diaphragm with even without like trying. So I would actually would not even think about that really, because I'm yeah, like when you breathe your nose, you really integrate your whole body, and you, like you said, definitely pull in the air from your diaphragm. You feel that in your belly and stuff. So yeah.
Love it. And then the other tip I asked you, this is a me question. I may actually action this advice. What about shoes and like stuff with the feet, like with all the different philosophies?
So I think you heard it that I do a lot of barefoot running classes in Korea because I really believe our feet are underdeveloped and undertrained. Like pretty much 100% of the people who live in developed or westernized countries, like USA, Korea, and so forth, Japan or Europe, wherever. But that being said, I think running shoes definitely have a important position in every runner's journey because you do not definitely want to run like a marathon or like a trail running with your barefoot unless you've been running and walking barefoot all your life. But with that being said, um, a lot of running shoes are designed to look good and designed to kind of also there's like a fashion and beauty aspect of it. So that makes these shoes very narrow and pointed. And usually they don't give you enough rooms for your toes and your foot to relax and contract naturally when you wear these kind of tight shoes. So I would say if you are, well, there's just one brand I really recommend. Just get a shoes from Ultra Running brand. They make shoes that
Wait, how do you
are
spell that?
yes, Altra. If you
All
just look up on Google, yeah, Ultra. They have enough room for your toes, and you'll have no problem that you'd have with other shoes that are very tight and narrow.
and I
So,
don't have to buy the ones that separate my toes.
oh, you're talking about the Vibrams.
Yeah, should I be getting like what do you think about those?
It's funny you're asking me those questions. I used to wear Vibrams all the time. Like I love them. I still love them. But one thing that I still love them, but I'm not wearing them as much as I used to because they used to smell so bad, man. They just smell so bad. Like I would run, like all the time with them, but then it just smells so bad. I just don't know where to put them. So I'm not really wearing them these days. But yeah, Vibrams
Yeah, my
are
wife would never let me
amazing.
have those based on your description. She would throw I would come home, they would be gone. Not literally, but they would very much upset her if they stunk like that. That for sure. Definitely.
Oh yeah, they smell so bad, and my wife was not happy when I brought them to San Francisco, and I agree with her. I feel her. But yeah, so I mean, if you have a place where you can put that stinky shoes kind of separate from you and from your neighbors, that's also important. You don't want to cause pain in your neighbors. Yeah, I think Vibrams are the way to go. But the one thing about Vibrams is that you really have to start slow. It really also takes time for you to build all those muscles and ligaments to work in, you know, like work with your movement of running because our feet has been asleep entire life because we put shoes into our whenever our babies can walk and run, which is terrible. So it takes time for you to develop your feet again. So when you wear Vibrams, really really start slow, start with walking, start with running really slow and running much less than you're used to, like maybe even 30 to 40%. So that's what I want to say about Vibrams. So yeah, they're great.
Yeah. So if don't start with those, maybe start with the ultras and then maybe work my way into those. Honestly, I don't know if I want my toes all separated like that anyway. So it's fine to start with the other ones.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I mean, if you can, it's really good to wear Vibrams. It really, I mean, I was running in regular running shoes before, and then I was having all sorts of troubles, my feet problems, ankle problems, knee problems. And then I started wearing Vibrams, and it fixed all those problems and fixed my running techniques and so forth very naturally. So I really do recommend if you can, but it's just really hard for people to, you know, just look at the shoes and be like, it's kind of ridiculous to wear that in public in a way. And I mean, I'm a person who really don't give a, you know, give a hell about what other people think of me and stuff. But
You
it's
wear
really
them
hard
in public
for
and you put your feet right on the table and you show everybody.
exactly. And like, I mean, I get so many comments. I used to get so many comments in Korea when I was running in those five rooms, and it's just yeah, it's just I think it's just really hard for a majority of people to even think of buying them, and so yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. Now, I want to ask you kind of like what got you into Gary Vee, because I know, you had the FaceTime call with him and all that and just like your thoughts on him. Before we segue into that, anything else, I don't want to cut you off on the running. I know that's your passion. Anything else you wanted to say that, maybe we didn't get to?
Sure, yeah. I guess one thing I want to bring up is so one of the two books I wrote in Korean is called 30-Day 5-Minute Running. And that book is all about building a running habit and consistency and really starting with small. And actually, really, a lot of people who read the books and sent me, DMs or emails told me what made them happy about reading this book was that it gave them permission to run slow and run just 5 minutes. Often, a lot of people think that they should always push themselves and always, really work out hard, run hard when they get into running. But it gave them permission to go easy and kind of go easy into it. And then a lot of people who start with 5 minutes, they now run full marathons, 50K trail running, and so forth when they started 5 minutes. So I'm not like advertising my books. It's not even, you can't even buy it in English. If you are interested in starting running and get into that good habit for your health, physical and mental peace of mind, just start with 5 minutes. Go at the speed where you can breathe through your nose comfortably and build that stamina, build that habit brick by brick, day in, day out. You'll be running so much better, so much longer and faster than you can ever imagine. So yeah, that's the last thing I want to say about running. And then, yeah, with Gary Vee, actually, I think I got into Gary Vee when I was in Kenya, when I wanted to like just watch some YouTube videos. He was everywhere on YouTube and Instagram. And you know how, I'm sure you know this, you know how Gary always talks about like a lot of people their first impression with him is like, who the hell is this guy? Like swearing, like saying things like so directly and no bullshit.
Right. He
Um,
always gets that.
yes, I mean that was my impression of him. Like when I first watched his videos, I was like, who the fuck is he? Like who the fuck does he think he is? Like saying all these things, like so directly and like no filter.
Parents, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? Like fuck your parents. I was like, damn, that's like who says that kind of stuff on
But
YouTube
also,
videos?
bro, but also love your parents, bro.
Right, right. So like I really, I didn't really watch him right from the start, but then, he just pops up everywhere. So I like started watching his, shorts and like short videos, and then I realized that he really comes from a place of love and comes from, all the things that he actually know and experience. So I started listening to him, and then it definitely helped me with having more different perspectives on life and being more staying positive and optimistic. Um, and yeah, with NFTs, and then um, so I learned that he was launching his own NFT collection like back in like April or May 2021, and then I saw his drawings, and back then my perception on NFTs was it was purely art. So when I saw his drawings, I was like, oh shit, Gary, I love you, but I don't know if I can buy this art. This is like doodles. Like I can draw this. So I kind of faded it. And also I was like very busy that months because I was getting married that year in September. So I had a lot of things going on. So I faded it. And then later on, I realized like utility aspect of NFT and the way you can, the, more profound way or profound relationship you can build with the holders of your NFT because it's on blockchain. You can verify who the owners are really easily. I got into it more, and then I bought one of his FaceTime tokens because I wanted to build relationship with him and ask him about NFTs and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my Gary story. I wouldn't say I'm not like his biggest fan. I don't think I am, but I just really love and appreciate him the way the way really he is and the way he's living his life and sharing his experience with the world through really scaled, social media content.
Yeah, dude. And I had a similar experience with Gary where in the beginning it took me a minute to like get to his origin story and find out that he was like really positive and like a good example of the American dream. And like he was like, he has a rags to riches story. That helps you kind of like contextualize where all the like passion is coming from and why he's so fired up because he really won. Like he's really proud of himself. He did something really great and like he really did. He didn't like scam people and all this other shit. So that was what, eventually sold me on it is because like I like making money, but it's not my number one thing. Like my number one thing is happiness. And like you need some money you can't be happy, maybe you can. Cheers to you if you can, but a lot of people can't be happy with no money or very little money. That's pretty common. So it's like you need a certain amount. But like that's not so like that's my focus, get to a certain amount of course. But then it's like my number one goal isn't to be rich, to buy a yacht, to like have a private jet. Like, yeah, that'd be dope, but like I don't know, like I don't constantly think about that as like my goals. Like I like going to places I like to go. I like to travel. I like to eat good stuff. So it's like that's where I'm at. But I don't want to like be in a culture where people are like ready to fuck each other over for money. And I found like a lot of the entrepreneurial stuff, or maybe I was going to the wrong things, whatever it was. But people would be very like sharky, like they'd be like, yeah, well, we could like make this look like this. We'll estimate this. We'll exaggerate this. And I'm like, ah, no, I don't fucking like make money like that. So Gary was this dude who's like, well, we can make money and be really like kind and compassionate. And I'm like, oh, that's like seemingly rare to me. And like, again, maybe I'm not looking in the right spot. I say this sometimes where people are like, what about this guy, this guy, this guy? And I'm like, I don't know. I never heard of those guys, but they need better marketing. But Gary's the guy that found me. You know what I mean? So I absolutely love that. Now, it's 10 minutes till the end or so here. Or we started a little bit after because the Twitter thing. But either way, like same kind of thing. I always let the guests do a call to action for however long you want to do it. So I know you said your book is not available in English, but for anyone in the audience who knows what I'm talking about when I say Anyang Haseo or has had some like fucking galbi, some beam bop, know these fucking phrases and shit, bro. They might want to fucking check it out. So like I don't, who knows who's listening, and what languages they speak. You may want to like, I don't know if you want to throw out the link or whatever, or just tell people to like message, whatever you want to do, but take it away if you want to kind of just do a little self promote.
Yeah, thanks you. I really don't have anything to sell or right now. But or I think where I can provide value to people in this Web3 space, or in the English world where I don't have any content really ready to give to people. Really, I'd love for people to start running, or really just start change their perception on running from a workout or a painful activity that you have to do to improve your health or to burn more calories and stuff. My number one goal with my mindful running thing is to help people view running as a friend, as a skill, as a um, way that you can as a way of movement that you can engage yourself with, that eventually helps you build more stamina, more endurance as a side effect. But the movement itself, the running movement, there is really a tremendous potential for joy and sense of freedom that I really believe like a lot of a lot of us can experience from really engaging in that movement, running just for the sake of doing that movement, like running itself. So yeah, like if you're listening to this, yeah, go out for a run. Even 5 minutes is a huge, huge. It's gonna make a huge difference in your body and your state of mind. for your health. And if you need any help in starting your running journey or fitness, DM me. I actually, yeah, there's one thing I can do for people for free. Like I can make you a personalized schedule for free, like for if you want to get into more of a running habit with more of a structured schedule. And also, if you want to get better at running, this is how I got better at running from zero to, I ran sub 3 marathon just so easily, comfortably last year, just doing this way. So yeah, I'd love to help you out in your running journey for your physical health and mental health. Yeah, please hit me up. And
And what about the Discord? Is that like should people join that? Is that still active at all?
yeah, actually, it, I'll be honest, it is not so active right now, but actually, I am going to start a type of challenge soon, like quote unquote soon, and hopefully that will activate Discord a little bit more. So yeah, join the Discord. There's really, there are like 300 people in Discord, but there's only like 2 3 people who are kind of active and sharing running there. But yeah, I'd love to have more people there, for sure.
And the link for that, right? It's right in your Twitter, so people could just head over to your Twitter and then look underneath your bio, and you have the Discord link
Right,
right there.
right.
Awesome. Now, we said this in the beginning. You mentioned you have a Korean background. You mentioned a couple other times. Can I ask you, do you have like favorite Korean food dishes? Like I threw out a couple before, for some of the ones I like. Do
Oof.
you have like, are you into that? I saw you, and I'm asking too. I saw you post pictures. It looks like you do eat some Korean, definitely based food. I think you had a
For
post.
sure,
Your wife made you a little Korean lunch, and I was like, ooh, that looks fucking delicious. What do you like? You like kimchi? You know what I mean? Like, what do you like? All of it, the beef. Like, what do you like?
man. I'm sure you know it's a very tough question, but yeah, I mean, I do cook a lot of Korean food. My wife cooks more Korean food than I do. But I love kimchi, of course. A lot of Koreans cannot live without kimchi. But if I have to pick just one Korean food, I think these days I think have to be oxtail soup. Yeah, just oxtail soup.
I don't even know if I've had oxtail soup. Do they serve that at a lot of Korean restaurants? Should I be going after that?
Oh, you should try it. I don't. It's not served in all the Korean restaurants. It's not like galbi or bulgogi. Um, but if you find any like broth based Korean restaurants that serve like sulangtang or galbitang, like beef broth soup. Some of them do serve oxtail soup. It's basically just you know cooking oxtail in a pot of water for like 4 to 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours, and then all the goodness from the bone from the tail comes out into the broth, and the meat becomes super tender. And man, it's just full of nutrients, and it's so good with rice and kimchi. Like after a long run, like that's one of the best things I can, do for my body. So yeah, I have to say oxtail soup.
I bet especially in winter too, like on a cold day, that'd be fucking delicious.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All right,
But
cool. So that's some favorite foods. Now another fun little question here. I know we have like a few minutes. I don't want to go too deep, so we'll ask like fun questions here. Um, I know you said originally you got the FaceTime Frog, I think. When the series 2 came out, right? You would have gotten not a FaceTime Frog. You would have gotten like a random mint, I think, if I remember that correctly. What did you get from that?
yeah, I got I gotta observe an oyster evolving.
How do you feel
So
about that? Do you like that one? Did you feel like it was tainted? Do you identify with oysters or being observant?
I mean I do not identify with myself with oyster, but I do love oysters eating them. But I mean I like the character. I think it's one of those characters with both five and signature on them. And I mean, I don't know, like with beef friends, I rarely trade them. I rarely sell them or liquidate them. I really feel like it's such a long term play.
Do
So,
you have a few other ones?
oh yeah, I have like a very rare flamingo. I have core cop cobra, and then I
These are
actually have
VF1s.
VF ones, yes,
Nice.
and then I do have a one more FaceTime. I have a FaceTime Fox as well. So I have like four BF1s and like 20 BF2s. Um,
Oh,
th-
20 VF2s. That's fucking fresh, bro.
I got in pretty heavy, and it's definitely not a financial advice because I got in to be friends when it was all at the top. So I'm very, you know, I'm kind of, I guess, down on the paper, but I knew I was playing for long
You're
term, so
not
I'm
down until you sell.
exactly, and it's just a very interesting um like culture and story that Gary's trying to build, I think, and it really just resonates with me how he's going about it. So I'm excited to be on this journey for sure.
Will you be at VCon this year? And were you last year?
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll be at the Beacon. I was there last year, and actually, with related to Beacon, I am doing a like a mindful running session at Beacon this year. I did that last year as well. Like 50 to 60 people came. I should put that on my profile link. So yeah, if you are you coming to Beacon this year?
100%. And my mom is even going to check it out this year. I don't know if she's going to go the full time, but she copped a ticket. She has some like work to do that weekend, but she said, Saturday she's off. She might pop in, pop out. I don't know what but yeah, I'm fucking going for sure.
Wait, do you guys live in Indy?
No, I live in New York.
But you guys are traveling, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna like take a plane or whatever. I guess. Yeah, sure. I don't have my flight 100% booked. I'm talking about it with her to see if we want to go together, separate or whatever. We'll probably fly together, but unless she has like some other schedule constraint I don't have and I want to show up early or something. But yeah, we're gonna fly out there.
Oh, that's amazing. I'd love to see you there for sure. And then, I mean, if you guys have time, join the run as well. And then, yeah, I'm so excited to meet you and you know be friends from last year, and I guess people that I haven't met, and so it's very
Yeah,
exciting.
my plan is to go. I want to go a few days early, and then maybe like get there like Tuesday, leave Sunday kind of thing, or leave. Yeah, I think that's the plan, or something like that. Yeah, do like 6 nights or something, and just make a whole fucking like a whole thing out of it.
Yeah, I think my plan is I'm getting there on like Wednesday, and then I'm leaving on Monday, just to, like have more time to kind
Yeah,
of
so
chill
you're
and
taking one
relax.
extra day after I'm taking an extra one before, but yeah, it's the same
Right.
thing. Like spread it out over a few days. Yeah, so definitely like obviously no hard feelings if we end up in fucking 100 different crowds and they move in like it's like so fucking hard to coordinate sometimes. But let's try. Let's make effort. I'm definitely down to meet up, fucking say hello, get some lunch or something, do, whatever we're fucking doing, meet up with a group of people, go out to lunch with the, bunch of everyone, whatever. I'm fucking down. I mean, I'm going with the flow for this type of shit. So 100% I'm down for that. So that pretty much brings us to about the hour here. Before I close out, I do like a little official outro thing here. I also always do like one more turn it back to you as the guest. If you want to do like any mic drop moment, like one last thing, like run, just do it, whatever the fuck you want to say, anything else. So go ahead and drop that if you got anything, and then we'll close out.
All right. Breathe through your nose, in and out, and run. Go out for a run. Enjoy. It's good for you. That's it.
There we go. So there you have it. So that's Sungwoo Kim, Sung for short. He's got a book in Korean right now. He's got a couple books. They are going to get translated to English at some point. He may use Chat GPT. We recommend Chat GPT. You should definitely check that out if you haven't heard about it. It's a super fucking cool thing. Look out for the English translations of these books. Look out for Sung at VCon. Look out for his Twitter content about running. Get inspired. Get yourself into the runner's high, the flow state, the free mind. It just really could get you out of even, like negative feelings. Like you could be in a point in your life where maybe you feel depressed and you don't know what to do. You've tried all these things. Have you tried running? Because maybe you're born to run, like, the inspiring book, and maybe you just got to get out there and fucking run. And that could be the change for you, like it was for Sung. And now he's fucking killing the game, running all over the place, fucking meeting Kenyan runners, traveling and shit. Got 250,000 fucking different VF2s. He's fucking killing it. He's a boss. No, I'm just kidding. It was funny, but like he's killing it. But yeah, so we close out kind of the way we came in, and we say thank you to God again in the universe for the energy and magic that brings us all together, lets us communicate, across the waters, across the states, across the globe in real time. That's fucking crazy. It's technology. We take it for granted, but it's kind of wild that we could do that. So we thank God, the universe, energy, technology, even our fucking ancestors, the people who came before us. We're all about gratitude. We're especially grateful to the listeners. The listeners, we love that you came in here and stayed through the episode. Um, Rahayan Kaj, I'm not saying that right. Ryan Nakaj, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to say, give you the credits out there. And then we got Kellen, which I think I probably am saying right. A few other people came in and out of here. So shout out to y'all. If you enjoyed it, like it, retweet it, tell your friends, go back to your old high school and, have a conversation with an old teacher, get lunch, tell them, how much you appreciated them and that you love Kowski's Talking About Life podcast and they should really check it out. I don't know, something like that, whatever. And if you didn't like it, don't do any of that. You got to be genuine. So, if you feel like you wasted the hour, my fucking bad. I am so sorry. But if you loved it, please share it or, tell people or whatever you feel comfortable doing. We also always thank the guests. So, Song, we are so thankful that you came on here today. I love your spirit. I love your energy. Love us vibing on the flow state mentality and all the other beautiful positivity and the passion. Breathe through your motherfucking nose. Breathe in, breathe out through your motherfucking. That will help you breathe from the belly. It should just happen naturally. You don't even have to think about it. It will just feel better. It'll, cool and cleanse and purify the air through your nasal passages and the cilia and all that stuff. So fucking get it with that. And then that's it. The last message, we always close out on is a message from our friend Afakasi Brand. And that's, if you haven't heard it today, you are loved. There is light and dark in the universe, but there's also oneness. I believe that oneness is love. And not only are you loved, but you are the force of love. Love creates life and babies and the Big Bang. And you are the conscious force of love incarnate and walking around and running through the open fields, through the streets, breathing through your nose. And if you haven't heard it today, folks, you are loved.